Hello, tubes of you. I've tried to make this video like 5 times today. My husband interrupted me, bless his heart. He came out here and he's like, you can't just edit the video. It's like, no, because then I lose train of thought and I forget what I'm saying. But anyways, you'll notice I did a thing. I finally did it. I broke down and got myself a phone jack. No more busted up phone jack. This is gone. And anyways, I got myself an accordion sunshade so I can make videos in my car without burning up, because it's been 100 degrees outside lately. And you know, we live in the south, so we might get a little bit of fool's fall soon, but we're not gonna get a real fall. It'll heat right back up. Let me know how the weather is where you're at. But anyways, today I want to talk about something that had been on my mind and has partially been going on in my own life a little bit. And I just want to talk about signs that God is opening up a new door. So I know people hear, oh, God is opening up a new door, and they think it's so exciting. It's going to be so fun for me. But a lot of times this is not how it starts off. And I know some people are going to disagree. But most likely the people who are going to disagree are the people who have never experienced this before, and God has kept them in one place. And listen, just because God has kept you in one place does not mean that you're any lesser of a Christian. I don't want you to feel like that. God has a place for everybody to grow, and you know, He can grow you right where you're at. But I'm specifically talking to those who God is getting ready to move you to a physical location. And this could be a new church. This could be right down the road. This could be, you know, a couple houses down. Who knows what the Lord has planned for you? Only He does. But I just want to give you encouragement. If you feel like everything has been falling apart lately and you're not sure why. Now, I'm not talking to the people who you're living in disobedience. You're living in willful sin. You're not doing what the Lord has called you to do. And you're doing something that you actively know is a sin. Now, there is grace for people. God will give grace for people, and He will give you time to do certain things. You know, there's been many times in my life where the Lord has wanted me to say something, and it took me a while. And the Lord was very patient with me. And I'm thankful for it. But I'm talking to those who, you know, you're doing something you know is wrong. You feel conviction about it and you're still doing it. This is not for you. This is for the people who you have leveled up. You have been putting in the work. And you feel like, Lord, I have done all these things. Where did I mess up? Where did I go wrong? Why is everything feeling crazy right now? And it feels like the more I try, the worse it gets. I want to tell you something that's exciting news, and that is going to shift your perspective. I gotta take a sip of my drink. I don't normally get sodas, but we just had a birthday party and we have some leftover sodas. But this is gonna shift your perspective. God is not punishing you. He's not punishing you because everything is going wrong. He is actually getting you ready to reward you. But the enemy would want you to think that it's a punishment, and he'll want you to think that the Lord is done with you. But the Lord is not done with you. So I just want to tell you some signs that God is getting ready to open a new door. But I can put it in a nutshell by saying God is closing the door. He closes the door before He opens a new one. But how He closes the door first is that you will lose favor with people. So this one kind of hurts, because we're used to being the shiny new toy, right? People open doors for us, literally. People are doing things to make you more comfortable. People are nice, you know, they love you. You're adored by people. When God gets ready to move you, people will stop adoring you. They will, I don't want to say turn on you, but they will just not, it won't be like it was in the beginning, right? They kind of, it's like when you date somebody, you have that butterfly feeling at first, and it's maybe God, you know, for some of you, maybe God is getting ready to close that door on that relationship, because you know it's become a bad relationship, and the Lord is getting ready to put you with that person that He wants you to be with. And I'm not saying go break up with people because Casey said so. No, go pray about it. Please go pray about everything, because I don't want to be the reason somebody breaks up. But you have that shiny new toy feeling, you have that butterfly in your stomach, you're excited to be around this person, but give it a few years and it just kind of wears off. And some people, you know, they get past that, and some people, they end up breaking it off because, well, they don't feel that spark like they once did. And that's okay. Not everybody is meant for lifetime. Some people are just meant for a season. But yes, people will start to treat you differently, and it may be in subtle ways. It may not be overtly just like telling you off and starting arguments with you. Now, it can be, but it's hard to talk. A lot of times it's just going to be very subtle, and it just feels like you don't really fit in anymore. Maybe that's friend groups. You feel like you don't really fit in your friend group. You're the one who is last to get called. You're the last one to get invited somewhere. And God is allowing it to happen. Not that he necessarily wants it to happen. He's like, yes, I love for this person to be miserable. But no, he is allowing it to happen because he knows that you will stay stuck in that place if he doesn't remove the favor off of your life. So he's going to remove the favor there so he can put it somewhere else. And when you get to this place, it is going to be that land flowing with milk and honey. So don't get discouraged and think, well, the Lord's going to move me to another wilderness season. Because a lot of times the Lord puts us through a wilderness season, and we stay stuck in the wilderness season way longer than we're supposed to be there. Sometimes because the Lord has been telling us to do something and we didn't do what we were supposed to, so he was patient and he was waiting on us. Other times, you know, God he wants to move us, but he knows that we're not ready, and he doesn't want to break our heart by moving us out of that place. So yes, he will subtly start to shift things, so then you get tired of the place you're in. That way he can move you, and it's not going to break you when he does. But we gotta stop having this the shoe is gonna drop mentality of, oh my gosh, everything's going good right now, why everything's about to go horribly wrong. That's not always the case. And if you're like me and you've been through a lot of trials and tribulations, it can be easy to get stuck in that of thinking everything's right, why is everything right, and just thinking, you know, what's going to happen next. That's not how the Lord wants us to be. There are seasons, there are trials. Job went through big trials, but his trials didn't last forever. And the Lord brought even Job into a season of blessing, and it doesn't say that he went back and forth between getting blessed and going through a bunch of tests. No, he went through one major test, and then the Lord blessed his life, and that is the end of that book. So it doesn't, you know, it's not like you should always be like, well, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Oh my gosh, the sky is falling. I don't want you guys to get so like discouraged and anxious that you take your eyes off of what's really important, what really matters. Words are hard today. The enemy would want you to stay focused on negative, but that's not what the Lord wants us to do, and he wants to bless you. Believe it or not, the Lord really does want to bless your life, and he takes you through hard seasons to prepare you so that it is a blessing and it doesn't hurt you when you get there. But another sign that God is getting ready to shut the door is that you feel like there is no room for you to grow. And what I mean by that is you're going to feel like you have kind of outgrown your space. And if you do too much in this space, then you're going to start to disturb people's peace. So you have to shrink back, and you have to shrink yourself back to make other people comfortable. If you have to shrink back your gifts to make other people comfortable, that's not where the Lord wants you to be, and he is going to move you somewhere where you can grow, because the Lord wants us to grow. So maybe you're like me and you're on a worship team right now and you have a desire to play the drum set. I have no desire to play the drums, but I'm just speaking hypothetically. But there are 3 other drummers And, you know, one of them plays on Wednesday night, and then they have one that plays on Sunday morning, and then they have a backup guy, you know, that plays when the other people don't play, and you're thinking, oh, I'll never be able to play the drums. If you feel like there's no space for you to grow in that area, but you know that the Lord desires for you to do that, it's good, it's godly, and you have a desire to do that thing, the Lord could be closing the door and you have no place to grow in that place because the Lord wants you to grow somewhere else. Another sign that the Lord could be closing a door is that spiritual warfare is getting intense. The Lord doesn't want to keep you stuck in mental battles forever. He doesn't want to make you think that, you know, your life is supposed to be full of turmoil for the rest of your life. So if you're noticing that some place is taking a toll on your mental health, it could be a sign that God is getting ready to move you out of that place. And it doesn't always mean that every single thing's going to go wrong, but there can be things like you just have neighbors that moved in and you don't like them anymore. You know, your neighbors are rude now, and the neighbors that you had before, they were lovely, they were wonderful, but they moved out, and now the people that you have, you desire to not be around, right? You're kind of just getting sick of the place that you're in. You're feeling anxious in this place. You're feeling like, okay, I don't know where I'm supposed to go, but I know it's not here. That's a clear indication that the Lord is getting ready to move you out of that place and into a new location. And like I said, it could be right down the road. Who knows? The Lord knows. So I don't want to tell you that if these signs are happening, that is 100% that God's going to move you like to Africa. You know, I have a friend, she always says, well, what if the Lord moves me to Africa? Well, I tell her, well, what if like that's where your blessing lies? That's what the Lord wants for you. I said, I didn't hear that the Lord is moving you to Africa by any means, but I'm just saying, what if? But don't get scared because God is moving you to a new location. And I actually started a video the other day. I have 8 minutes. I'm going to try to get this out. But if you're going to a new location, I want to tell you, don't sulk on the last thing, because you're going to cause yourself a lot of grief by sulking on what you had. Make a life. Bloom where you were planted, wherever the Lord takes you, and the Lord will open those doors, and He will send you favor if it's the place that you're supposed to be. And don't be fearful that if you move to a place and it's not the right place, that the Lord is just going to give up on you. No, He'll keep, you know, encouraging you. He'll keep pushing you out until you get to where you're supposed to be. So don't think that the Lord will give up on you if you make a mistake, because we all make mistakes, but the Lord gives us grace every day. But find a church where you're at. Find a church where you're at. That is the most important thing. And shop around. Do not just say because you didn't like one church that you're not gonna like, you know, every church. I say that church shopping is like trying on a pair of pants. It may take a couple times before you find the right fit. Don't get discouraged just because the first one you tried you didn't like. Maybe this is going to be your first move ever. Find a community. Find small groups if you can, especially if it's a church small group. I'm telling you, the small group that we have at this church, it has held me up a lot. A lot of times whenever I felt like I was lonely, just being in that small group gave me people to talk to, people that I could go to the right people and talk about what was ailing me for the week, and those people would lift me up and they would encourage me. They would give me scripture, and they would, you know, we would edify each other. So I want to tell you, find a small group. If you are moving out and this is your first time ever, get really good at small talk. Stop going through the self-checkout line. I know this may sound silly to some, but I'm telling you, going through the self-checkout line is doing you harm if you're not good at small talk. Do the thing that you fear. Go talk to the cashier. Go talk to the person in the drive-thru. Go into the restaurant and order your food. But get good at small talk. And another thing is, if you're worried about making friends, just know that it takes time. You're not going to hit it off with every single person right away. There may be some awkwardness, but give people a chance. Don't write them off just because the first time was awkward. A lot of the best friends that I have here, we started off kind of awkward, not really knowing what to talk about, but then we became like, they're like sisters to me, and I told them, if I end up moving, you're gonna have to come visit me because I don't know what I would do without you in my life. But we had some awkward moments, and it's just normal, especially with adults. I know, you know, Hollywood would make it seem like people just instantly click, and if you don't instantly click, then that means that that person is not meant to be in your life. But that's not necessarily true. Another thing, and I'm trying to speed through this because I have 5 minutes before I run out of storage. I need to go through my phone. Another thing is, don't take it personally. Don't take anything too personally. If somebody doesn't really talk to you that much, if they don't go out of their way to be your friend in a new space, don't get discouraged and think that it's something to do with you. A lot of times it could be that they just already have their friend slots filled up, and it has nothing to do with you. Lastly, I'll leave you with this. Don't be in your head so much and think about, well, what are these people going to think about me? What are these people going to say about me? And that comes with ministry too, with anything that you are using as ministry. Because see, ministry is just serving people. People think that it has to be preaching, but ministry can be even, you know, you can have a ministry of cleaning a church. It can be anything. But whatever your ministry is, whatever the Lord has called you to do, don't think so much, well, what are other people going to think about me? Because people are going to think, but what they think about you is none of your business. And that's what I tell myself a lot. But the majority of the time, people are thinking about themselves. We're hardwired to be a little bit selfish. So people are not going home thinking, what did Casey say? What kind of stupid thing did she say today? But Casey's probably in her car thinking that, because we're hardwired to be selfish. And I want to tell you, other people are probably thinking that too. So they're thinking about what they did. They're not thinking about what you did. You're going to leave their mind pretty quickly. And so if you've done something embarrassing, you know what? Don't let it ruin your whole day, because most likely you're thinking about it a lot more than other people are. So if you're moving to a new place, just, you know, ask the Lord to help you get over that fear, because sometimes it can be fearful to talk to new people, to go to new places, to do new things, but the Lord will be with you. And as long as you stay with God and you keep praying and you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, God is going to lead you to the right people and the right places, and He is going to increase your life. So you don't have to worry about constantly having to shrink back, being around the wrong people, being sucked back into your old life. If you move you, it's probably going to go bad. But if God moves you, He's for you, and He has given you a hope and a future and an expected end, meaning He's not sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? No, He already knows the future. So He knows what He has for you, and His plans for you are good. So I just wanted to get on here and encourage you guys. I love you, but Jesus Christ loves you so much more than I ever could. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye.